coach at Fenerbahce.
I didn't watch Fenerbahce matches until I came because nobody abroad wants to watch the Turkish league. Who wants to watch this Turkish league abroad? They have the Premier League, they have the French league, they have the German league, they have the Portuguese league, they have the Dutch league. Why should they see this? I didn't. I started looking at it when I was invited to come to Turkey. And then, yes, I start looking at it, but I start looking at it in the perspective of trying to know my future players, my team. My focus was not on matches, my focus was on players, to try to know the most of them. I was told when the president met me, when the director met me, even before that, you know that I even met other important club and respectful club in Turkey. But I couldn't believe that this was the dimension. It's too grey, it's too dark, smells bad. But that's my job, and I will give everything to my job, to my club.
Jeez, harsh words. They're coming from Jose Mourinho. Imagine lambasting the very same league in which you work and saying that nobody actually watches the Turkish league. He didn't know anything about the Turkish league until he was invited to come and coach. Sure. But he slammed the referee, Attila Karaglan's performance during the match, saying that he was drinking Turkish tea, which kind of was a euphemism, though, for being asleep during part of the match and missing many free kicks Mourinho believed should have been awarded.
We were in good control. We were winning 1-0 when Attila woke up because in the first half he was having probably Turkish tea, for not to say an alcoholic drink, so probably it was Turkish tea, when there was a clear red card on Bright. A red card that if it is a Fenerbahce player, Attila would wake up. Even the referee on the pitch wouldn't be afraid to give the card, because referees are afraid to give decisions to us.
Well, he also noted a penalty in Fenerbahce's favour, which Mourinho said that he would post footage of on his social media so that the world can see how poor he believes the league to be.
Then arrived, which for me is the biggest scandal, which is a penalty in our favour. As I was saying before, I don't think abroad not many people watch the Turkish league. I think in London only my son watched the Turkish league. Nobody else. But I'm going to post in my Instagram. I don't have many, but I think more than 5 million will watch abroad that penalty, so they will know what the Turkish league is.
Rate your performance on a scale of between 0 to 10. What grade would you give to yourself?
0.
0.
My goodness. I mean, how do you respond to that? Only my son watches the Turkish league. How do you rate your performance? 0. Let's move on. And as we recover from Mourinho, I'm sure a lot of people around the world watch this just from the tune itself. We all know exactly what it is that we are talking about, don't we? UEFA Champions League. Now, Borussia Leverkusen coach Xabi Alonso says that his mind is focused only on facing Liverpool, dismissing links to Liverpool and also speculations about his future on the eve of facing Arne Slot's side at Anfield. Now, the former Real Madrid midfielder Alonso, who won the Champions League coincidentally with the Reds back in 2005, was the hot favorite to replace Jurgen Klopp when the German announced in January that he was leaving at the end of the season.
Well, for us it's a big challenge to come here. Probably Liverpool at the moment is one of the best, if not the best teams in Europe. They are showing that in Champions League, they are showing that in a very, very strong Premier League. Good squad, good coach. Playing at Anfield, it's a big challenge, but I think that all of us, we are looking forward to it, for sure the players, and let's see what happens tomorrow. Well, let's talk about the game tomorrow. I think it's more interesting than my future. We have a big one with great players from both sides, from Liverpool, from us as well. Grandi being here, so really looking forward for that. That's what's in my head.
Now, Alonso also remains a crowd favourite, and there's every chance as well that the cop will be singing his name at some point tonight. And as for his thoughts, though, on returning to Anfield, Alonso had this to say.
I will tell you probably the question after the game, how I feel, but there will be a moment for everything. But the main thing is not me. The main thing is the players, how they can deal with those emotions that you have here in this stadium. We have good moment for us. This challenge to play against one of the best in Europe and to come at Anfield, it's a great challenge. And this desire to show our best football, it's gonna be a great energy. And let's see tomorrow. My side, we can talk after the game.
Now, the Liverpool manager Arne Slot has responded to Mohamed Salah's cryptic contract message after he appeared to drop a major hint about his future. And speaking at his pre-match press conference, though, for the Reds' Champions League clash against Bayer Leverkusen, Slot was asked about the cryptic Instagram post that was shared by the Egyptian forward after Saturday's win over Brighton.
So that was a long question. And you interpret it in a way maybe other people don't. I don't look at the Instagram post of my players. I only talk to them, which you can't. So that is the advantage I have. As long as Tony keeps hiding them, and then you can't talk to them. Mo is in a very good place at the moment. As long as he's been here at Liverpool, he's been in a very good place. But this season again as well. So I'm hoping he can post. If it was a post, you said?
It was a post.
Okay. I'm hoping that he will post one after tomorrow and on Saturday again. And what he says with that is for me not important. The only thing that's important for me is how he plays and what he tells me when we have conversations, and that's what matters, and not how you guys interpret one of his posts.
Just to push you a little bit further, though, do you feel it is a reference to his future being away from Liverpool after the season, or can you say to us that it's not a reference to that?
Then I should have spoken to him about what he said, if that was a reference or yes or no. But I haven't spoken about him. We've spoken about Leverkusen because that team deserves all of our attention for the quality they have. And so no, I think he's out of contract in the end of the season, and Virgil said something in the press, and now he has a post which you interpreted in a certain way. This will probably continue for as long as their future is not clear yet. But in the meantime, let's hope that they bring in performances like Mo had and Virgil had as well during the weekend.
Well, Slot has also labelled the Bayer Leverkusen's Xabi Alonso as a special manager. Alonso's Leverkusen side went unbeaten in the Bundesliga last season, en route to a first league title in their history. The club also lifted the DFB Pokal last season, with the only loss, though, in all competitions coming against Atalanta in the Europa League final.
That's difficult to say if you don't work with him on a daily basis, that he is special. That's clear. If you go to a club that was bottom of the league, and with the same players you bring them all the way up, and without spending that much money in that summer, only bringing in one or two very good players, and he had a season that I think they only lost the final of the Europa League. So it tells you that he's special. What it is that makes him special is for me difficult to say, because I haven't faced him yet and I haven't worked with him. But what might be the situation is that he's worked with very good managers in the past. He was a player with an incredible insight in the game. He knew when to be where, and he played at the highest levels. So he also probably knows and understands how these players feel in certain moments. So that probably all contributes to why he is such a good manager. But what makes him exactly so special? The best way to find that out is talk to the players he worked with, and I haven't done that yet.
In the meantime, though, Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola says that his side have got to get back to winning ways as he looked ahead to the Champions League Matchday 4 fixture against Sporting. City find themselves in the unusual position of trying to avoid a 3-game losing run. The team lost 3 in a row in the 2017-2018 season.
It's different competition. We lost 1 game. And yeah, we'll have to come back to winning games, of course, but we are in early November, so many things is going to happen. I know our standards. So, yes, we lost one game in the Premier League. Maybe we're going to lose against Brighton and against next to Tottenham and Liverpool and all the games. Yeah, but you lost one game. We are 2 points behind Liverpool. It's a top-class team. We have done quite decent in the Champions League. I would say really good, because the game against Inter, we draw, we played really good. So I understand. So I know the people, you expect to win 38 games for 5-0 every game and win the treble every season, because this is our standards. But this is not happen. It didn't happen in the beginning of the season. That will not happen.
Well, City found themselves in a situation where they will have fond memories of playing at the Estadio Jose Alvande. The last time that they visited, that was back in February 2022 when they won 5-0. However, Sporting are likely to be a different proposition on Tuesday, having won their first 10 games in the Portuguese top flight this season. And also coach Ruben Amorim will want his side, though, to put on a show, simply because he's going to be leaving to take charge of City's great rivals, Manchester United. Here's the midfielder Bernardo Silva.
With the players that we have in our squad, we should do much better than we did in our last game, and perform better individually in every action. Be ready for the games, and start winning again. Because this club, the standards that we set over the last few years, demand that we start winning again and again and again. I only have compliments because they've been flying in the Portuguese league, and it's going to be very tough to beat them tomorrow, the way they've been playing. In terms of him going to Man United, well, I don't wish him very well, as you can imagine, because he's going to be my rival. But he deserves what he got. He deserves to be in one of the best clubs in the world right now, because the work that he did in the last years has been unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, the Sporting captain Morten Schulman has now opened up on Amorim's departure as the club prepare for life without him. Now, the Danish midfielder also revealed that the Portuguese coach was one of the reasons that he made the switch to Sporting, as he praised the manager's vision.
It was also difficult for me to hear. I was sad to hear that Ruben is leaving Sporting. He's leaving me as well. But in football, opportunities like this can happen for a coach and also for players. I think that's the noble part of football, and what I hope is that Ruben is proud of himself, that he gets an offer like this. I hope that for him. I see it as a positive challenge to win the championship without Ruben. Will be our main objective of this season. And of course, life goes on, and I think now we want to show that we don't need Ruben anymore.
Obviously, we got so much reaction though coming through after playing those clips of Jose Mourinho.
Hey, Mr. Marawa, kunjani baba? Hey, you've got to love Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho, I think we'll never find a coach like him ever again in football. No, that guy. Kabanga, the league that we are still working. At first, he started saying in 2 years' time, if there's any team in England that is looking for a coach, he'll be available. Mahanje is telling them, hey, le league coach akuyaphetha. Anyway, Mr. Marawa, looking forward to ukujatshuliswa Orlando Pirates futhi as the happy people silindile in anticipation ukuqhubeka ngenjabulo yethu. Inhliziyo yethu idade emafutheni, inhliziyo zethu sidade emafutheni Darop, Orlando Pirates. Thank you, Darop. Great show as always.
All right, thank you so much indeed. A great game to look forward to outside of the UEFA Champions League. The reference that he's making is Orlando Pirates tonight hosting Richards Bay. We'll take your comments and a whole lot more. As we say, those numbers remain open to you anytime. More comments and feedback on the Jose Mourinho comments. I'll be straightforward with you. My thinking is that the man just does not want to be there. So, you know, when somebody's asking you very, very nicely, saying, listen, please, fire me.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time.
MSW.
Doki, I'm home.
And now, what's all this?
What you mean? It's groceries.
But payday's only next week, and you've got Avos. Did you get an inheritance or something? Liv, you can tell me.
When you get a Nedbank Platinum credit card, there will be signs. Get competitive interest rates from Prime and up to 2% unlimited cashback on your card spend from just 99 Rand a month. So you can buy groceries whenever. Apply via netbank.co.za or the Money app. See money differently. Nedbank. We're a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
You have reached the voicemail of
Simpiwe.
aka Sim. Sim is not available right now. He's probably switched up SIM cards to chase after rewards. If he was on Cell C, he would be winning cash, groceries, fashion, and more on SA's best network. Don't be a Sim. Nothing should stop you from winning guaranteed rewards.
Play on the app or dial *123#. T's and C's apply. Switch to C. Cell C.
It's the Net Forest Festive Hotline. Jenny on the line. What's turned your jingle into a jangle, Jen?
It's my mother-in-law.
Talk about the nightmare before Christmas.
I forgot her gift last year. Now she's refusing to visit this holiday.
And the problem is?
She's still family, Harold.
I know, right?
How do I fix this when she's all the way in Cape Town?
Stress less, Jen. Just send her an early Fezzy Prezi with Net Florist and it'll be wham bam, look it's gran in no time. Net Florist. It's easy to show you care, even when you don't.
Take your seat on the Betfred flight. Play aviation on betfred.co.za and you could have a chance of winning every Tuesday. Join betfred.co.za now with the best odds in SA. Yeah, you heard me. The best odds in SA. Across lucky numbers, sports and games where you could win payouts of up to 15 million rand with Betfred. Licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18s are permitted to gamble. National Responsible Gambling Program on 0800 006 008. All games are fixed odds betting events. Winners know when to stop.
So we did a thing. A full commitment kind of thing. We've partnered with Sixt to bring worldwide to your doorstep. So, you see how that's a serious thing? Because that's what you deserve. We know you're the GOAT. So, premium it is. Premium service, premium vehicles, premium you, premium us. Sani Sixt is all about adding extra to ordinary. Extra reach, extra countries, so you can be extra premium worldwide. Be the greatest of all time and rent Sony Sixt.
Let's be real. Your pets run the house. They decide when you wake up, when you can move, and what side of the bed you sleep on. They deserve the best possible care. So why not protect them with SA's #1 choice of pet insurance, as voted for by various Media24 publications since 2020. Go to dutcher.co.za for a quick online quote today. Dutcher Limited is a licensed non-life insurer and authorized financial services provider. FSP 39925.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Mickey, good to see you. Welcome to SA. Welcome to the studio. Because North Africa, the impatience levels are higher than anywhere else. And like you rightfully said, they pull the trigger pretty soon and early. How much longer do you think they'll give him?
It will be hard to predict. The president seems to be backing him for now. But let's not forget that the club is not only run by the president. And once the fans even turn, the fans are more than the president. And once they turn against you, you have to react. I'm just hoping that he can finish the season.
So they're not only just saying, Mukwena, your time is almost up, but they're also saying, yeah, take your Mailula as well.
Like we keep saying, in Morocco, in North Africa, they don't have time. And I'm afraid for Mailula, yes, because once the trigger is pulled on the head coach, he follows it.
Under pressure. #MSW.
#MSW. Good evening, Mr. Marawa. It's Gary from Aldo's. I'm just laughing at that Mourinho play. But you know what, Rob? If there's one manager, coach, that I respect and a person holistically, is that man Jose Mourinho, the special one. I mean, really, it doesn't get better than him. He holds back 0 punches and he tells it like it is. He's just marvelous, and I dig him. I really dig him. You know exactly what you get with Mourinho, and that's that. You know what I mean? Also looking forward to the Champions League tonight, my brother. It's going to be a big one. Equally enjoy it there, Rob, as well. Thank you. Great show. Ciao.
Thank you so much, as always. Great contribution. And I agree with you. I'm one of those Jose Mourinho fans. I love everything about the man, his honesty. I love the fact that, at times he says the most awkward things, but he's got a very brilliant mind, very sharp. He's somebody whose mind you can't really tackle and, he holds himself accountable for whatever the outcome is to his job. So, yeah, we'll play some more of those. I see plenty of reaction coming through as a result of that. But I tell you what, though, very few things in sport are as fulfilling as a coach seeing his mentees reaping a great deal of success. Now, especially if you are a grassroots coach, identifying, developing, nurturing that raw and unpolished talent. Now, also seeing a diamond when everybody else sees a hyper kid. Now, my guest today knows all about that. I mean, he's watched on television as well as live over and over and over again as his prodigies outrun everybody else. Now, his years and decades of hard work, when you talk about trials, errors, perseverance, and finally paying off, and with young track sensations, well drilled and paced by him. Yo Matodzi, Ndo, Yo Bayanda, Walaza, among plenty of others before him. He is the only coach. He's the only coach, guys, to have world records of 4x100 meters from the same group. Coached all the athletes that broke an under 18 4x100 record from the same school, as well as same grade, as well as coaching number one in the world on top of the USA and Jamaica. My absolute pleasure to welcome Coach Thabo, Coach T. Matebedi here in studio. Baba, good evening and welcome.
Evening, Brarops. I really appreciate the time and I'm happy to be here with you guys.
Oh, I mean, we are thrilled. We are thrilled. I mean, I just mentioned a fraction of some of the many successes that you've had. When you sit back, and especially after an Olympic year, we've seen so many trials and tribulations, but a great deal of success, especially within your stable. How do you feel personally about those triumphs?
For me, I get this question a lot.
Yeah.
I will be honest with you. I feel more relieved because when I took these boys and girls in, I was committed to them. I committed myself to them and their families that I will make sure that we get the success. And when the time comes to perform, then get that success, there's a lot of pressure emotionally, mentally on me.
Mm-hmm.
Then after the result, I feel more, it doesn't excite me. I feel more relieved because I get more excited at training when I see them performing at training before the whole world sees what's happening beyond the scene. I'm the first guy to be there and then to create that kind of performance.
Let me use a practical example. I mentioned Walaza's name, and he is probably top of mind to a lot of South Africans. He is a kid that's greatly loved because of his personality, but most importantly, his talent. And he sat exactly where you were sitting. He spoke a great deal about you and the impact you've made in his life. And I'll get to the overseas thing in a second, but the craziness and the belief you would have needed to have to say to South Africans and the world, are you ready for a matriculant to shake up the world of athletics? And that's exactly what we saw. What do you, who works with them almost every other day, what is it that you see with this kid and what made you feel confident enough that he was ready for the Olympic Games?
Yeah, when I met Walaza last year, he came to me. He came with a parent. Somebody advised Walaza to come and train with me. Then I saw Walaza once running, then I know he has the talent. But I made a time between me and him to sit one-on-one and see how committed he is. Then I realized this boy is very committed. I spoke to his mom. I said, you know what? This boy's going to be a new star next season. He gives me goosebumps. The way he talks, the way he's committed. I can tell you now, Walaza never missed a training in the whole full year. Never missed a single training. Some of the training were on Sundays. He pitched up. That's how much he was committed. So for me, when I saw Walaza and when I spoke to him, sometimes it's not about the talent. It's a character of a person. So when I saw that character, I said, this is what I have been looking for all these years. I'm not looking for the athlete. I'm looking for this character. I will make a great athlete out of that.
Tell me about that character. What do you need to possess? What does he have?
He has a self-belief. His work ethics is something I have never seen.
Yeah.
He has a work ethics. At the age of 18 years, when coming to physical training, it's not about the talent on him. It's the work ethics that he puts on and the commitment, the discipline that he has close to running. So if you look at the Walaza off the track, you just see a child. I can tell you now, if you go to watch his races, just 30 seconds before the race, 10 seconds before the race, on a lineup, he becomes a beast. So he has two sides that I know the both sides, and then I have to deal with both sides.
Which is the best side?
The best side is just being him just being by under Walaza, just being a child in high school. He jumps on my head each and every time. I chase him every time at training. He's very playful. It is much more relaxed one. The other one is also scares me because I can't tell you his emotions.
So when the beast kicks in,
he switch it on. You can't even tell his emotions. When he switch it on, when he stands there and then he looks at that camera, then I can see from that eyes that he's on.
I mean, how much of that beast in him do you think? Yeah, I mean, we've recognized the God-given talent. But how much of it do you think has got to do with the past, with the trauma, the incident that he saw, with his father passing away and how he died in front of him, being shot in that manner? How much of that do you think he's almost reaching out and saying, see me, look at me, I am your child, I am here to make you proud?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's for me, it's something that was very personal and very close because I'm also close to the family. So I have never wanted to speak about, but because of now the family, they are speaking about it themselves. That's the reason. That's one of the biggest reasons why I took Walaza in. One of the biggest reasons when I accepted Walaza, when my manager brought Walaza to me, my sports manager brought Walaza to me, I said, I don't want this boy. He has already ran 10.55 at the SAs. I don't want him. He's performing. He can stay with his coach. I want somebody who's never been given opportunity to run on a provincial level. But when we sat down and I got the story behind about his father, and then I say, I will be your father.
Sure.
I will take you in, because most of my athletes, basically, that's what I have done with the young boys in this country. It's not only about the running, it's becoming a father figure to them. It's understanding the struggle from the township, where they are coming from, that my father also passed away when I was 3 years old. So I know what they are going through. I can relate with their emotions. So that's why I took most of these boys in.
And when I mentioned that, and thank God for you and your presence and the way that you've just articulated it now, because me mentioning it has also got to do with what we've seen of Letsile Tebogo of Botswana, is also on the back of a tragedy just before the major Olympic Games happened. And that was his relationship with his mother. Yeah. And that is why throughout the entire Olympics, he would be winning, but he would not be celebrating. In fact, he would just point up to the heavens to show that this is a dedication to you, Mom. It was only post the Olympic Games when he started to run other meets, and then you start to see him now dancing. So the character and the personality now starts to come out that we never saw at the Olympic Games, because it was just all focus, dead face, and so on. How much of that plays a role? Because you need to draw motivation, coach, from somewhere.
Yeah, it's very important, because I can tell you one of the things that I'm really good of is athletics is more of an individual sport.
Yeah.
Then I always try to find out what tricks the athlete, what makes the athlete to run fast, what actually trick that thing in that athlete. So things like that, in my experience, I have seen, I have seen a lot of athletes drawing more motivation from their personal life, what happened previously. I had a boy that always before he runs, he's actually African champ under 18, Thabo Matebedi. Every time before when he ran, I said, can you please have you spoke to your grandma? No, coach, let's call your grandma. No, wait. Just run, they will call your grandma late. The reason of doing that, when we call the grandmother, he cannot give the grandmother a negative result. So he has to run much faster to win. So he comes back, I borrow him the phone, he calls the grandmother, giving the grandmother a positive news. So that kind of a thing, understanding the kids and the motivation behind, is not only about the scientific part of running, it also plays a very big role to understand these kids.
The last time I counted, you had 8 African champions.
Yes.
Has the number gone up?
Yeah, Matose became the 9th one last year from Zambia with 400 hurdles. He won the African champ. We just lost one this year at Cameroon with Walaza, but it was on a senior standard. Few things happened, or a psychological thing, but we now have 9.
9 African champions coming out of your hands.
Yes.
Would mean what to a man who's got big dreams? I remember, I was reading an article last year, June 2023. The headline was "The Man Responsible for Turning Dreams into Gold Medals." And you've done exactly that. You've turned those dreams into gold medals. You're turning more. What is the ultimate goal? Because in as much as we need to protect our athletes, we need to protect you.
Yeah, the ultimate goal is what I have realized with our own people is that we undermine ourselves. We undermine our skills. I'm sorry to say that, but Americans are overrated. We lost a lot of kids going to America. They come back. They can't do anything anymore. They are not as good as we thought they will be. So I told myself that I'm going to create a high performance where all these people will come to South Africa and train in South Africa by South African coaches. And our parents also must believe in our coaches. That is my ultimate goal.
That is a bold statement. Americans are overrated. I love it because it comes with the confidence that it deserves, yes, but it also comes with the practicality. And I know that Alonso Joburg is somebody that you had worked with. He went to America. I'm not sure where Alonso is currently, but also Sean Maswanganyi is also somebody that you've coached, is coached by Carl Lewis, as we all know, a former multi-gold medal winner at the Olympic Games. And then you say something specific to Walaza. You say, no, don't go to America. Stay here at home. And then he says, yes, coach, I will stay at home despite all of these colleges that want me to come and train over there. A couple of weeks ago, I had an interview with Stephen Mukoka, who's going to be our legend this coming Friday. So Stephen has an opposite understanding and a belief to yours of him not going to America. He feels that Walaza should be going to America. He gives us reasons. We'll ask and share with it because he's going to be on the platform for the first time on Friday. How would you justify that? And I know that because heading up the High Performance Center is an integral part of your journey right now. But why and how would you convince a parent listening now to say, forget about America, keep your kid here if they want to achieve excellence?
Yeah, because it's all about the culture. When these kids move from South Africa to America, automatically the culture is different, the food is different, the way of training is different. The goal of the coach is also different. Those coaches are working they're not working for kids, they are working for colleges and universities. So if you look the way they run, they just run strong but not fast. How many of our South African athletes that they come from America, they represent us on a world champion or Olympic level and won medals? But then they train in America. Americans, they train in America, but they still win these gold medals on these big championships. And with Walaza specifically, if you remember vividly, somewhere in March, April, he was the biggest jokes of the way he swings his arms. It was a big thing on the media.
Yes.
Then after he won the world champion, the silver medal, nobody's talking about the arm swing anymore. But it didn't change the style.
It didn't change the outcome.
It didn't change the style. We keep the running style the same. We get much stronger in that running style because that's not even a running style.
That's how he starts.
That's his survival skills. If you look at him running first 40 meters, he runs well. And then when push comes to shuffle, people are next to him. He's under pressure. Then the arms start go wherever it goes. But that's how his brain is wired. That's how he survives. It's like just taking a child, throwing the child in a deep pool. Then the child is trying to survive there. So you see, by not understanding that as Americans, that this is a survival skills, they're going to change it. And then that might make him slower.
That'll stifle his progress. It might stifle his level of comfort. Like you say, it's survival.
Yeah.
Sure. We're learning, guys. We learn, and we can't argue with this man because, the achievement records, and if I talk about 9 African champions, it is just talking a fraction of the achievements that he has had. And the mindset that Coach T has as we head to the break, and I'll share it with you, and I quote, "Strive to be great, not good."
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Dear Journal, day 4,547 of trying to be an adult. Today's the day, the big 35, 35. Yay. I think the hardest thing about turning 35 is realizing I'm not 28.
Aggressively realizing your age? Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's simple and like 19 Rand a day, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
It's Big Deal Wednesday at Food Lovers Market. Buy a papaya pre-pack for $39.99 and get an extra papaya pre-pack absolutely free. That's a papaya pre-pack for $39.99 and another one free. And enjoy flavorful beef rashers at just $69.99 per kilo. Valid this Wednesday only at all Inland Food Lovers Market stores. It's in the experience.
Parents, get ready for the ultimate shopping spree. Chilino Baby's Black Friday price slashing extravaganza runs from 1 November to 1 December. From strollers to toys, we've got everything your baby needs. Plus, celebrate the launch of Chilino Baby Boxburg with epic deals starting 9 November. Shop online at chilino.co.za or in store for amazing savings, where every baby deserves the best. Chilino Baby, your premium baby store.
Want to win a brand new Hyundai i10 to start off the new year? Of course you do. Shop incredible deals at Build It. Like the Better Lux front flush toilet, including seat, for only $699.99. And the Better Lux basin and pedestal set for a low $499.99. See in store for more quality deals to build it better. Prices valid until 11 November. T's and C's apply. Only at Build It.
Fly Emirates from Cape Town to Dubai and beyond and start your holiday on board. Enjoy complimentary food and drink. Explore up to 6,500 channels of entertainment, including live sport. Stay connected with onboard Wi-Fi and keep boredom at bay with special meals and toys for kids. You get so much more in Emirates Economy. Book your next getaway at emirates.com. Fly Emirates. Fly better.
Medical aid plans, they're normally like this.
So, you'll need to take this form and this. So don't forget this too. Okay, wait. Don't forget this one. Wait. Okay, done.
My back!
Sorry, sir. That's gonna have to come out of your savings.
At Bonitas, we make our plans simple, so they're easy to understand. We also offer a benefit booster and a range of other benefits that don't come off your savings. Visit bonitas.co.za when you need us. Bonitas, medical aid for South Africa. T's and C's apply.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Mickey, good to see you. Welcome to SA. Welcome to the studio. You've seen now, Nabi, you've seen the frustration when you get beat 4-0 by Mamelodi Sundowns. It's not a good picture to paint for the fans. Where are they getting it wrong, Kaizer Chiefs?
Well, it's becoming a riot here now. Well over the web, but here is number 4.
I mean, I think that everything has to start from, from when he first took off the job. With a club like Chiefs, many of us way back, that was a club we knew, as well as Orlando Pirates, because of the history. And I think that when Nabi took the job, they quite need to be strengthened because, the inexperience is too much. And with a club like Chiefs, you need to win regardless. One question, it depends if they are going to give him time. I'm just hoping that he doesn't lose his next games because fire.
#MSW. #MSW.
And Rob and Coach T. Coach T, I just want to say, coaches like movie directors, you guys don't get enough recognition, but allow me to give you your flowers for your dedication and your coaching prowess that we are able to celebrate the likes of Ualaza, and I believe you also worked with Anaso Jobodona. And for me, those are some of the great athletes that we are able to celebrate because of your hard work and your coaching and knowledge that you have imparted with them. But I just want to find out from you, what coaching philosophy do you use to get the best out of your athletes? And what is it that you are using to get sharpness out of your athletes, considering that we don't have a lot of athletics series in this country. Thank you so much, Tebogo.
Tebogo, thank you. Great question. Let's dive straight into it. Coach T, how do you answer that?
I really appreciate your kind word. One thing that I've always tell my athletes is that I work for them, with them. So I'm not their boss. So basically, I work for the athletes while I'm still working for the athletes. And I'm very fortunate in terms of the school level. We have more meetings on a school level. And then my senior athletes, what I call professional athletes, that they have shoe deals, they also can afford to go and run in Europe. But you are right, because there's a gap between the professionals and the amateur. We still need to get a way to bridge between that.
And I think to peel on what Tebogo was saying, his first lines was that he believes that we as a South African society are not recognizing your great work. I fully agree with him. And it's actually something I was saying to you during the ad break. And I was saying that I would be held accountable. I'll be guilty of a crime committed if I did not do an interview of this nature to say, guys, here is a man who has spent the bulk of his life. I think it was 8 years as a professional. It's now 18 years as a coach that you've had. And if we don't step forward and say, Coach, what support do you need? Well done for what you've done. And I think in your own words, correct me if I'm wrong, during the break, you said you are one of the most underrated coaches in the country.
Definitely.
Tell me why.
If you look at all the results I have produced in this country, it's only this year I was surprised I'm nominated for the Coach of the Year.
Congratulations. I was going to get to that at the end.
And the other thing is that at some level, as you will find the athlete that I coach, they've been called by federations and other stakeholders without me knowing. I get the information from the athlete that we need to be at this place at this time. It's awards, it's this, they're going to give me this. But where's your coach? They don't even tell the coach. I have to hear from a school child that is being nominated for this. He's being done this. So how do they award the athletes without coach knowing and without the coach? That's undermining and underrated.
Now that you've gotten to the nomination, what's your feeling about it? Is your tuxedo ready? Is that something you look forward to? What's going through your mind about that nomination?
Yeah, it's for me. It's when I look at the people that I am competing with, or we are on the same level. I have worked at Tax for 10 years with Rocco as a swimmer coach. Tatiana was still in high school by then when I was coaching the athletics. I know Rocco very well, and then the rugby coach, Lions. I'm not that big rugby fan, but rugby is a big sport in the country, so. It scares me. It gives me goosebumps that I have now reached that level where I can be on the same line with coach like Rocco and the other big rugby coaches. It's amazing.
But it should have happened a long time ago. It's just that rugby is on our screens every single weekend. But this should have happened a long time ago. When you play a step forward, whether it's a world champs in Peru, whether it is the Olympic Games, and there's a medal event and they get draped with their medals for their achievements, that is when South Africans wake up. And again, I refer back to what Tebogo was saying, is that athletics is not that often seen on television. So we are not consuming this product on a regular basis while you are training literally at times 7 days a week to have these outcomes. And let me just remind people, when it's being considered who should win that category, is that 20 of the school's most talented athletes, they were selected to represent Athletics Gauteng North at the ASA National Championship that was earlier this year. Now, the outstanding performance, that yielded an incredible 15 medals. Moreover, 4 of these athletes have since become South African champions in various under-18 events, and grade 10 learner Matodzi Ndo is currently the school's under-18 African champion in the 400-meter hurdles. This is all your work.
Yeah, and my thought is the greatest one. It's the most athlete that is his IQ of riding is something else. I mean, he has the third fastest time of all time in the world on 110 hurdle, 12.92. Then that has never been happening in Africa. He's number 3 of all times under 18 ranking.
On the planet?
Yes.
And I have to qualify that. So sometimes people might think we're talking about the country or the continent. I'm talking about on the planet.
On the planet. He has broke South African record 3 times this year only, breaking his own records.
But how was Kuro Hazeldine able to recruit you?
I've been on this game for a while with my sports manager at Kuro Hazeldine, Manas Hendricks. So he was working in that other school, then I was working on a different high school. So when the project of athletics started at Kuro, Manas was the guy who was in charge, and then he just handed me directly. He said, I just need Coach T there. So that's why I got to Kuro. I mean, I could have left 6 months before we started with the project. Manas kept me on the province. I was still at home. I was not working. So the Kuro holding, they have kept me at home, giving me some money to survive before we even start this, so that I must not go to other schools or other provinces. So I really also appreciate the treatment from my school.
Kuro Hazeldine, I mean, that high school needs as much praise as anybody else. And if anybody has a better concept, please do share with us. We love to tell these stories, because we don't only look at situations and occasions now where we have to the flight is landing at 10:30 in the morning. Let's all go to OR Tambo International to welcome them back. And there's the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture. He's there shaking hands, and the media is there. And then we soon forget. So when people leave that OR Tambo to welcome the athletes back, you now faced with the most difficult job outside of the celebration is to say, how do we better the next time? So what I want to ask you, very honest, very direct, you spend and sacrifice so much of your time, probably personal monies, to look after these athletes. Who looks after you? Who makes sure that Coach T has got the financial resources to enable South Africans to boast at major meets like Commonwealth Games or the Olympic Games? Who does that?
Yeah, I will be honest with you. That's from my personal point of view, there's no any personal sponsor, anything. It's just Kuro Hazeldine as a school that actually they are trying their best to support me. I'm not gonna lie on that. They are trying their best to support. They are giving me the best that they have. I mean, to support me to be at my job. I mean, for instance, when you need to fly to all these countries, they tried by all means to pay the head office. Those are things that were not in a budget.
Because you were not at the Olympic Games, were you?
I was there.
You went there?
I went there.
For the duration of it?
For the 5 days prior, because of, remember, my goal this year was to win the World Junior Championship. Then what happened is that Olympics came before the World Juniors. And then that will take by under 2 weeks out of my supervision. I couldn't allow that to happen. So that was the most important 2 weeks. So we went to Montpellier for a camp, and then we went to Paris. I was there. And then we had 2 weeks at home to prepare again. And we went to Peru. Remember that 2 weeks when I was at the Olympics, the plan was to train for the World Juniors, where he's going to be measured against his peers. And the school really supported me on that. I mean, sometimes I leave the office at 7 o'clock. There's no taxi there, but the school borrows me a car to go home with the petrol. So that's why I say there is a good support from that.
I think anywhere in the world, they would protect you so much. With all the so-called sponsorships that come flying around, anywhere in the world, the person that has produced all these African champions, world champions, Olympic medalists and so on, would not be in a situation like you're in. But I applaud you for the bravery, the patience, and everything that comes with what you have to endure.
Good evening, Mr. Rob. It's Fulfilang here, and good evening to the MSW Shoulders. And good evening to Coach Thabo Matebedi. All I'm going to say is thank you. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for birthing a certain Bayanda Walaza. I know very well that because of you, we have a star in our hands who, like you've said, is not going to go to an overrated country like the USA, as you've rightfully mentioned. And I fully believe that he's going to achieve even more excellence here in South Africa. And with your coaching methods and giving birth to a rising star, giving the performance the way that he has in the junior championships, at the Olympic Games as well. Come on. I feel that coaches are not given the credit that they deserve. People always credit the food, but they don't credit the chef. People credit the actors, but they do not credit the directors and the producers behind this great movie. And in this instance, we should be giving you your flowers because you are a major part of the reason why Bayanda Walaza is the superstar that he thinks he is and that he actually is. So, my coach, this is from me to you. Thank you, and thank you. And may you continue with the amazing work, birthing amazing athletes that us as South Africans, we can enjoy and embrace with everything that we have. Great shows, Mr. Rob. Thanks.
Well, Falang, thank you so much indeed. Showering Coach Thabo Matebedi, Curo Sports Head of High Performance, who's with me here in studio. Sure. He's baptized you, man.
No, I really appreciate that. It gives me confidence and more energy to keep on doing what I'm doing.
And because of your qualification, maybe it's improved, but from the last I checked, you've got a level 3 in coaching. What is there any higher? Because as part of these interviews, we get to learn. I mean, you've got probably one of the highest levels of qualification in the country. Yes,
my goal next year is I want to go to Jamaica, spend a little bit, maybe 2 weeks to 3 weeks with Glenn Mills, and also to do my level 1 international coaching, just to see what other people that are running fast from other countries, what are they doing that I'm not doing. When I was in Montpellier, that's why I saw other countries that what they do on training, because we share the same training camp, they are overrated.
Overrated. So there was nothing that you were seeing them do that made you feel wow?
Nothing. The only thing that I can tell you was the level of discipline and the commitment. That's the only thing that I have seen from Australians and the New Zealand team.
New Zealand, yeah.
We're on the same camp in Montpellier. But the level of discipline and the commitment from the athletes to the coach, that was the only thing that they have that we don't do in our country.
Sure. And that's major, though, when you talk about that. But I'm worried, though, Coach, that if you go to Jamaica, what if they try and poach you there?
No, I'm going to stay home. I'm staying home.
Wandile Mtanda, who on X has said Champ Walaza's career is in good hands under inspirational coach Thabo. He says, that belief in him to revive his career to reach full potential. Indeed, our athletes needs more resources to advance their careers and also compete with the best. Walaza, and he broke all of those barriers. Imagine I am a gentleman called Mr. Mackenzie, who's the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture. You want to address the one burning thing that's been in you that you want to tell him in 30 seconds. What would that be?
Be the man of your words. Keep your words. Because we've been promised so many things, but we have never seen the action.
What's he promised?
The 300 athletes that will go to the next Olympics, the other sporting codes like spinning that they will be official, and the support of the coaches that are going to work on a grassroots level, that they are not supported. So we need to see that happening.
He's passed the 100 days in office, so he needs to deliver 100 times more than what he has promised. So, Mr. Gayton McKenzie, you've heard from our most successful coach, a coach that continues to do South Africa very proud. And just in case you missed the name, Thabo Matebedi, Coach T, in short. You've arrived, sir. I thank you for the commitment. I thank you for being with us here on the show. Anything that we can do on our side, please reach out. That's what we're here for.
Thank you for your time and everything you have done for us.
Sure. What an inspiration, man. What an inspiration. You can tune in again tomorrow for Marawa Sports Worldwide. It's probably brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
From the pitch to the podium, your all-access pass to the world of sport is right here. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Boomer FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW. #MSW on 947, Boomer FM, Rise FM.